Welcome to Damage Does D&D. We're back with our long-term campaign that we've had a big break for, about 13 months in fact. Helloran Rising. So, just to give a bit of a recap. A slight overview, a very brief overview, because otherwise it will take way too long. So, our group of adventurers were thrown together by chance, rescuing a young serving boy from bandits just outside the trading port city of Kleinwater. From there they have travelled far, been shipwrecked, possibly both, accused of murder, run over a bridge through the hells, travelled through portals to different planes and times, freed the god of the waters, who was perfectly sane, honestly, spoken to the goddess of death, spoken to the god of the forge several times, and battled strange creatures and stranger weather effects, been pursued by seemingly unkillable tieflings, and travelled as a caravan with a wandering gust tabaxi, lost a companion to the mad god of the waters, and found a new companion who talks about dragons very slowly. They've had many strange encounters with a Chaos Lord. Catching up with our brave companions, we zoom into the dwarven fortress of Daghold, deep in the Circle Mountains, home to the secretive, well, not so much now, dwarves, the scene of a war between dragons and dwarves that has been recently turned very, very ugly indeed. The god of the forge that the dwarves worship, Reorx, has told his cleric Yorick Scalbane and his newfound champion Trelador Phelan, now known as Sprocket, that this war must end. So, after besting High Priest Varad and his two cronies and some vile abominations they had created using stolen dragon eggs, you are taking stock of the situation when your companion Delamar reappears and turns herself into a very large emerald dragon, demanding that the eggs be replaced. You comply with this and she starts to heal them, releasing a miasma of green smoke-like substance that surrounds the eggs, bathing them. After a while, the eggs seem to be returning to a normal state, as Gus can attend, being the only one that's really handled a dragon egg before. Yorick, meanwhile, has been interrogating Varand and asks Reorx to give him a sign, as Varand still thinks Reorx is a made-up story only children and idiots believe in. Reorx obliges, and you find yourself all transported to his forge, where he asks Yorick if that will do. Celeste once more tries to talk to Reorx, but the vision fades as she speaks. Upon returning, Varand seems subdued, but is still maintaining that it was just an illusion by a false cleric. Gus manages to finally extract the whereabouts of his mum, Sybil, and you gag Varand and drag him with you. Sybil is found exactly where Varand said she would be, in the darkest, nastiest part of the dungeons. She's very happy to see Gus, but almost immediately tells him off for vanishing without a word. Celeste offers food and water, but Sybil seems offended by the offer of water to drink, and Yorick offers his flask instead, which goes very well, Yorick having been her favourite nephew all along. You learn that Yorick's parents are out on patrol at the moment, but were expected to return a couple of days ago, so nobody's overly concerned yet. Sybil does not, however, know where her husband Dronath is, that's Gus's dad, as he went out in search of the boys and has not been seen or heard from since. So, picking up in the home of the Scalbane family, what would you like to do?
I cast Fireball.
Okay. As a monk, you have access to Fireball, obviously.
Obviously.
Mum,
Yes?
I've got something I thought I should tell you.
Right then. What is it, Gus? What did you do?
You're a nana now.
I'm a what?
A nana.
Who is she?
Who's who?
Well, presumably your now wife.
Oh, no, I'm not married.
So, right, okay, let me get this straight, right? So, you've fathered a child with
Sort of.
some woman that you've met along the outside, and
Not quite.
all right, you've adopted a child with your boyfriend,
I don't have a boyfriend.
Okay, so you've adopted your child with a partner of your choosing.
Well, you see,
But where is this partner? Why have you brought them back with you?
died and
What?
asked me to look after her. Her mum died when she was born and asked me to look after her, so I have
Oh,
been.
right. Okay, cool.
And she's
That's
lovely. She's really nice.
Is she? Oh, where is she then? So Sybil's
She's
looking around for a child.
sort of resting at the moment.
Right. Where?
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
I can call her if you like, but
Well,
she's a
yeah.
bit
But
big.
if I'm gonna have a grandchild, I think I ought to meet them.
Well, it's probably not a good idea to call her when we're right in the middle of Daggold before we've fixed the war, because she's like a dragon.
Yorick, your cousin Gus is not making a whole huge amount of sense at the moment. Now, before I beat him with an inch of his life, could you explain? Because you're the brains behind the outfit.
I don't. And he's not wrong. He does have a sort of dragon friend that thinks Gus is its mum.
Right. So you two go out into the world without a word to your parents, who are very worried, by the way.
Sorry, Mum.
You've adopted a dragon, and you've come back here.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
You see, like this is why we left. You see, because like I found this egg, and the mum dragon said to me to look after it. But I was going to do as I was told and take it down to the priests. And I went down there and I saw what they were doing to the baby dragons, and so I ran, and I took it with me. And Yorick came, and he didn't want to come, and I made him come because he's my bestest cousin.
Right.
And we sort of met all these people, these friends of ours now, and they helped us and stuff, and we've done all sorts of weird stuff and met lots of different peoples and found out that everybody had been lying to us dwarves about the outside world and no one else around and what they were doing to the dragons, because the priests were perverting the dragon eggs and just making them into gems so they could make themselves rich. They don't even believe in reorcs.
I know, and I speak to Riox quite regularly now.
Oh yeah, he's Reorc's favourite. He is now.
But right, but that's a lot of. Now you've seen your mum before, perplexed about your shenanigans, the pair of you. But this she almost seems speechless. She's like, which you've never seen before. But hey, but hold on, right? So you're saying that the priests are doing something to the dragon eggs that we, as hunters, bring back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we take them back and they farm them for gems.
Well, I don't
What they were doing was casting nasty spells on them and turning them into weird monsters that they then killed and took all the gems from
and have you
sold
got, like,
them to make themselves rich.
Have you got like evidence for this?
Well, how could we have evidence? I forgot my video camera.
Well, no, but like you've seen this and you can take people and show them.
Well, we've seen it, but we can show them where it was being done, but of course there's none left because we had to kill all the monsters because they tried to kill us.
Right. So
and there's still like bodies and things down there, though, isn't there, Gus?
What's that?
There's still bodies and things down there.
Oh, there are, except the ones I threw in the lava.
Right. Throw them in the lava. Okay.
That was quite smart, really, the evidence like that.
Well, he hurt Bidris, that's my baby, and he hurt Bidris, and he tried to hurt me, so I threw him in the lava.
The beings they corrupted, though, their bodies are still down there, I believe.
Oh, yeah, they're there.
Is this conversation in Common or Dwarven?
out of
We
respect
didn't
for
know
you
about
lot, she is trying her best with Common.
Also, does Gus's mum have a name other than Gus's mum? Because I can't find any
Sybil.
record. Sybil.
Sybil.
Good to know.
So, right then, so this is a very serious accusation, Gus, Yorick.
Oh yes, that's why we've got this little shit tied up here, because he was the ringmaster of it all.
Right, yeah. Well, you see, see, one of the things that he threw me into prison for was getting upset that there was no hunters on the council.
Arr.
So that would make sense, wouldn't it?
I wonder if the other council members are in on it too.
Well, Thrinan, keeps banging his head on
believe-
stuff, he does.
I believe this man was also responsible for sending out assassins to kill your son and your nephew.
Oh yeah, I saw him when we was out there. I saw him making deals, and they sent out undead assassins, or dead and then not dead, and then dead and then not dead assassins.
Dead and not dead assassins.
Well, we kept on killing them, and they kept on coming back and attacking us again.
Oh,
They were really weird.
they sound like fun. I mean, they sound dangerous.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, I think the best plan is we need to get the council together to talk about him.
Yeah.
And we needed to get the council together to talk about reappointing a Drake Hunter to the council. Because you're supposed to have 4 from the 4 families.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a proper
We need
council.
to talk to them about stopping the war as well, because that's what Reork says. He says we've got to stop the war between the dwarves and the dragons.
Right. Okay, see, that's going to be tricky.
I know.
Because, like, after the last attack on the northern quarter, we evacuated all the really old ones and the little ones so that they were away from the tunnels. Because that big dragon, that big sapphire, he's been going mental. Digging through the tunnels and coming up, popping up in parts of the city. Nowhere was safe.
Oh dear.
I know there's been damage done by both sides. You can understand why the dragons are upset when their children have been used. And
Well, absolutely, but we didn't know about that.
I'm not saying you did, but one side has to be the one to stop.
Right.
Otherwise, it will never end.
Okay, see, the problem I have there is, well, it's twofold, really. So the problem, mainly, is that this dragon, he seems a bit, how would I put this? Stupid. And he's very, very violent. A conversation is probably not the best plan to be having with him. Or her.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not sure.
we sort of met one of those sapphires just out west. And yeah, they're a bit like that. I don't know if it was the same one.
Well, I don't know.
There are the smarter dragons that we can talk to. We met one that was really quite smart, and
So,
we helped her.
oh, so you've been meeting dragons and gods? Oh, this is interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And sort of devils.
Devils?
It's been an interesting few months, let's just say.
Yeah.
Right.
We met quite a few gods actually. We met Reork, his sister, who's a god of death.
Yeah. Who was
She
the
was
watery one?
She
was
was
the
really,
crazy
really nice. She was.
She
And
was
then-
lovely. Yeah. She got us a nice couple of beers. It was
Yeah,
nice.
she did.
Oh,
And then we met. I think we met the god of the waters or something.
Yeah, it was
as
the
well.
crazy water one.
Yeah, he was a bit mad.
Helloran.
And we met the god of mischief. He was very mischievous. He kept on trying to trick us, but then he liked me at juggling, so that was all right.
And then they met me.
Oh yes, and we met you.
you're a
This is
god as
Scott-
well, are you? You don't
Yeah.
look like God.
He's a champion of Reorks.
Is he? Right.
That's what Reork says. Yes.
Well, I mean, you've got the beard for it, I suppose.
Yes.
And I mean, technically, I'm not from this time. I'm from quite some time ago.
Well, you're an elf, so you're all like old, aren't you?
Not all elves are as old as. Well, I'm not old officially, but I'm from a. It's complicated.
Right. Okay. It's a bit weird.
I know. Like my noodle too.
Right. Okay. So, I think first order of business. Oh, point two of my it might be complicated plan is selling this to the dwarves.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's been a lot of death.
We're ghosts at the moment. The ones we've met so far seem to think we're ghosts. Which was a bit
Ghosts?
weird.
Yeah, people
Oh, yeah,
think we
they
don't.
thought we were dead, so that meant we were ghosts.
Oh, that'd be them idiots
And
on
that
the,
does
on the gate
not exist.
down south, right?
That's them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't worry about them. They think everybody's a ghost.
Okay.
They're a bit touched in the head. You know what I mean? So, first order of
I
business.
think the only real thing I think, Auntie, that we can do is try and get people together, and I can try and ask Riox to kind of give a nudge and make people believe it.
Right. So some sort of town meeting or something.
Some sort of town meeting, yeah,
Why not?
with afters of divine intervention, you know.
Right.
I
right,
could
yeah,
also, well, this is why I'm a bit wary to bring Bridris out. Bridris is your granddaughter's name.
Right. Okay,
Bridget.
That's a good dwarven name, that.
It is, isn't it? And I'm a bit wary to bring her out here because, you know,
Well, we're in our house, so if you... Hang on,
well, she's
will she
quite
fit?
big. She's the size of a big horse.
Well, you look
So
around
she
the
might break
room,
some stuff.
it should be big enough.
All right.
Step back.
All right, everyone stand back a bit, make some space.
Sybil sort of steps back. And
You also get the full glory of my beard.
Ooh. Looking good as always, Yorick. Gus, you could learn a thing or two from him.
Oh, bollocks. Bridris, come say hello to your nana.
Bridris appears.
Bridris, my lovely, this is your nana. Have you been having breakfast or something?
Yeah, I had some breakfast because like I was hungry.
That's fine.
Was that breakfast? Did that breakfast have horns and red skin?
Are you asking this really, or in common?
As a player, I'm asking.
Oh, well, I think you'll have to find out.
Right, Bridris, this is your nana. It's my mum. So it's your mum's
So,
mum's make her your nana.
Not lunch.
No, definitely not lunch.
His Sybil's like, okay.
Nah, ma'am, this is Bridris, my baby.
What's she
Beautiful,
got?
isn't she?
What's she got in her claws?
I don't know. Probably a lunch.
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay.
Yay! First roll back.
Natural.
15.
15. Yeah, you look, and it looks like the remnants of some sort of tiefling head.
Bridris, have you been
There's no
with me
window
again?
left, that's the thing.
What?
I told you not to go back there and eat those people who are attacking you.
If they're attacking me, surely I'm allowed to eat them.
Well, you're not meant to go back there in the first place, and they wouldn't attack you then, would you?
So, but it's my lair now. I've got a lair. I'm so grown up.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay. Pleased to meet you. What was she called?
Nana.
Nana. Pleased to meet you, Nana. And of course, this is all in Draconic, so nobody else in the room has any idea what's going on.
Oh, I forgot you can't. Oh, she can't speak our language. I'll translate. She says, I'll turn to my mum and say, she says, nice to meet you, Nana.
Well, I'm sure it's nice to meet her too. And she sort of, am I
I'll
allowed
turn
to
back to
pat
Bridris
her
and
or not? Might lose an arm,
turn back
perhaps.
to Bridris and say, She says it's nice to meet you too, and she wants to give you a quick stroke. Is that all right?
I mean, yeah.
All right. And I'll turn back to him and
So-
say, yeah, you can go ahead and stroke her. She
Sort of
likes that.
lowers, Bridges lowers her head so Sybil could just sort of pat her on the top. Nice. Dragon, Bridges. Okay, I think that's enough now. If you don't mind, Gus. I think we've been properly introduced, and this is Bridges. You can come here anytime you like, but you have to give me a bit of a warning so that I can, make space, because you are quite sizable.
I'll repeat in recording. Your Nana says you can come and visit her anytime. Just give her the nod first so you don't break anything when you turn up, because you're a big girl now, aren't you?
Yeah, right. Well, I've got my own lair and everything. I mean, yeah. So that'd be lovely. I could make this a lair. I'm good at lairs. I've got one. I'm gonna have two then, could I? Lair.
This is
It's a
your
funny
Nana's house.
word,
It
isn't
can't be your lair. You only visit here.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
All right, you can go back to finish your breakfast now, but no
Cheers.
more. Oh, okay. Right, she's gone back now. She
I
goes. She's
noticed.
a bit magic, you see.
Right, so I see. That's interesting. So, right. Okay. So we need to get this Varin character dealt with. She gives him a kick as he's sort of lying on the floor where you left him. So, first things first.
What was his reaction to this appearing?
Make a perception check or insight. It's up to you.
Or perception is decidedly better.
Okay.
Or 13.
13. He looks absolutely terrified when Bridges turns up and just like tries to shuffle his way back out of the room.
Wasn't every day you meet a god that doesn't exist and a species of dragon is supposed to be extinct?
He's not having a good day.
I'll just turn to him and say, now you see, that's my baby. And if you piss me off, she'll come back and nibble on your toes.
You sort of look, because he's gagged, he sort of looks at you. So,
Right, man, what were you saying?
right, yeah. So I think the first thing to do is go and round up the rest of the council. Well, all two of them. And then we can.
We've got to make sure they weren't involved in this as well, you know.
Well, yeah. Because, like, when Turris, when she passed, God rest her, about a month ago, you was away, you boys, when Turris passed. She never, we've not had a drink on the council since then. So we need to get a drink under the council. So we need to get Thrinan and Maidlin to we need to talk to them plainly.
Yeah.
Right, so you lot go and get them and I'll look after him.
All right. Do you think it's going to be all right with this lot of non-dwarfs walking around the city?
Well, there's
Because,
one,
like,
there's
everyone
one way
thinks
to
that-
make an impression, Gus, and that's to be different.
Hmm.
But you are quite different anyway, bless you. But the rest of
That's
you
me.
are very
I'm
different.
special, man. That's what I am.
Indeed you are, my special boy. And a little different from everyone else, which is fine. It's not a problem. So, anyway, go and get those two jokers, bring them here, say that I want to see them, as I suppose the acting head of the scale beam. I can do that, because there's nobody
Right.
older here at the minute. Oh, it's me. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Hope they don't get me on the council, but I wouldn't do that. Well, maybe it'll do it.
I think it'd be great, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think Summer might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Well, maybe they need somebody with more intelligence on the council, and I think he'd be ideal for that.
See, I like her. She's nice. You can learn a couple of things from her. Gus, pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
So, go and get those two, bring them back here, tell them it's urgent. I want to see him as acting head of the Scalebanes. None of this, my
Right.
mum wants to see you. Acting head of the Scalebanes, remember that? It's important.
Of the scale banes.
Dwarves,
Right, okay.
as you know, respect tradition and respect the right of succession. Well, apart from obviously royalty, we don't talk about that. But the four houses, the four families, that is sacrosanct. And as acting
Right.
head of Scalebanes, I can call a meeting like that.
Well, you are the matron of the Scalebanes.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Matron might mean a different thing from where you come from.
No offence intended.
Good. Right. Okay. So, and she sort of drags Varyn up, sort of sits him on a chair. Right then. You know where they live? Go get them.
Yes,
Take your
ma'am.
friends, cause a scene. Make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Righto.
Not too much. Don't kill anyone, right?
No, don't do that.
Right, off we go then. We'll
Okay.
just make a quick stop at the pub and then we'll go get him.
Will you very quick stop though, mind?
Of course.
You got to replenish that flask you gave me.
Righty so.
So,
Wasn't that special mead we got
yeah,
in your flask? It was. Wow.
she seems to quite like it.
Mm.
So, you all, as you all exit the Scalebane residence, we will cut back to Ferenz, who is down where the eggs are, with Delama, the large emerald dragon, who is concentrating on this sort of green miasma. What are you up to, Ferenz?
He is observing everything about this magnificent creature in front of him, because he's all about the dragons, and he was sent here on a mission primarily, but he's also here to learn about other dragons and generally everything that he can learn, really,
Okay.
because he wants to judge whether it's going to be safe or not for his people to begin to mingle with these lot.
Okay.
Or whether it's whether the boss is going to keep them sequestered for a bit longer.
Sorry, puppy is upside down, legs waggling. Just see it in the corner of my eye. So yeah, okay. So Delama is sort of concentrating on this miasma, and she sort of opens one eye, looks at you. You hear, because you can speak Draconic, right?
Yeah.
So you hear in your head. So you're still here. Can I assist in any way?
Well, you see, the Crystal Drake, he sent me here to help these lot, but I also have other objectives, which is to learn everything I can about this world that we're in, whether or not it's time for my people to rejoin the wider world, or whether it's whether the boss is going to keep them sequestered for a bit longer, because we have a really good relationship with him, and we give him what he needs, and he helps us in return, and we see we have a really good life, and we owe a lot of that to the great one, the Crystal Drake, and it's whether or not we want to give that up to help other people, or whether we make I suppose it will hinge on my decision and on what I learn, basically.
I see.
But my goal is to stop people killing dragons and try to stop the dragons killing people, I guess.
Ah,
We need
a noble endeavour.
Well, it's what the boss sent me here for, and I
I think
suppose that
the dragons I mentioned would be the best ones to talk to.
yes, that would be Lunaria and Aberon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because yeah, we've already met one of the Sapphires, and I give him a bit of a telling off, which I think he's a little bit peeved about.
Ah. This would be.
But I spoke to him in well, I suppose in the language we're speaking now.
Right.
And I told him that people are friends; they're not food or.
I would imagine that didn't go down terribly well. Knowing Cyrenicus as I do.
Perhaps not, but I suppose there's always going to be a few, isn't there, on both sides that don't really get the message.
Yes. As I said, Sapphire's probably best not the most easy to talk to, especially if he's in a mood, which he generally is.
Yeah, I was going to say not the most well balanced, not the most
Not really.
personable.
No. And he seems to have a bee in his bonnet about having this mountainous area as his own lair.
Yeah, them sapphires seem to like tunnels and the underground, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So yeah.
It's probably best to avoid him if you can.
Yeah, well, if we're going back out towards where we come from, we're probably going to have to go back past him, or unless we can find another way out.
Well, there are many tunnels. So, yeah, it's just timing it so he's not in them.
I wonder if Gus's mum could show us another way out. That might be.
I don't know if that's what that is. Gus's mum, I don't know what that is.
You know the dwarven fellas we were with?
Yes. Oh, Gus,
Oh.
yes. Is the one that's the one that is friends with Bridges. The Onyx.
Yes, that's the fella. Well, his
I mean,
mother they've gone to free her, I think, but
right.
um,
Okay, well that should be good.
with the green mist,
Yes.
is that sort of a purification process?
Sort of. It's trying to encourage the growth within the eggs to become more normal. There's no guarantees that I can do this, but it's the only thing I can think of, short of getting, I don't know.
Well, after that battle, a new line of communication opened up between me and the boss, and
Right.
I might be able to try something that could help
She sort of
if he's listening.
turns to you and looks very carefully at you to see if you're sincere, and she's going to make a persuasion check or deception if you like.
I know it's going to be great persuasion because
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I will absolutely take that. That's a 16.
16. She sort of looks at you and says, okay, what is it you're going to try?
I suppose in the common tongue they might call it a bit of divine intervention.
Right. I see.
But like I said, this might not work if it depends if the boss is listening.
Okay. So, as a player, you're rolling divine intervention, yes?
Yes, absolutely. I have new toys. I want to use new toys. So it's a D100, isn't it?
Yep. And it's going to be less than your level, which is 10. So,
Okay, I will do this.
10 or under, and Yeah. Go
Wish
for
me
it.
luck.
Good luck.
No.
33. Oh well. Never mind. Worth a shot. So, just out of interest, your divine intervention, what were you planning to ask?
So-
What were, if you, because you don't just go, oh, it's failed. You say what
Yeah.
you're going to say and see what happens.
Yeah, so obviously I wanted him to help through me contribute to the purification because flame is usually seen as purifying.
Gotcha.
So using some sort of divine fire to help promote
Okay.
growth within the eggs, because she was talking about growth,
Yeah.
and obviously
Okay, so you reach out to the Great Crystal Dragon and ask for his intervention,
Yeah.
his assistance in
So-
making this work through
Yeah.
you.
so she would see him sort of roll his shoulders slightly and go, "All right, I really hope the boss is listening," and then she'll just see sort of just white fire sort of engulf his hands and then just wreathe his entire arms
Okay, so you do
and
that,
sort of
and you can always feel the presence of the Great Crystal Dragon, but you know when he's paying attention to you.
Yeah.
And it seems that he's not. He seems he's doing so. You get like a busy tone, so he's
Yeah.
doing something else. You can work out.
Yeah. So she would see sort of him really concentrating hard, and then all of a sudden the flames just flick out. Not really quite what I was expecting.
Well,
I think he's busy on something else.
I thank you for trying. I will continue to feed my energy into that of the eggs.
Well,
You should probably rejoin your companions.
It's probably a good idea, actually. I don't know what kind of trouble they're going to get themselves into. And they do seem really prone to trouble. Is this a common? Is this a really common thing with people in this
Absolutely.
world?
All of
Right.
the mortal races tend to. Yeah, I think they're so busy. They seem to sort of interact with each other in short, violent bursts, which is incredible to me. But at the same time, some of the other dragons encourage that and like that, and some of us are slightly puzzled.
Yeah, I mean, well, it has been absolutely delightful to meet you, Miss Delamere, and I appreciate you letting me watch and learn. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to give you a gift. And he'll sort of detach one of the sort of small, sort of multi-coloured crystals from his staff, and sort of hold it out on a hand.
Okay, so she sort of looks at it, and you watch as it sort of levitates towards her, and she sort of inspects it. And you see it sort of drop down in front of her between her huge claws. That is
See that?
an excellent gift. Thank you.
That's one of the crystals from home, and
It's very powerful.
well, it's from the boss, so
A being much more ancient than I.
I know he's old. I know that much. I don't know how old,
Very
but
much,
I know.
very much older than I.
But
possibly
I-
the oldest I've ever heard of.
See, some of the stories did say he was ancient when the world was young, but we just thought that was metaphor. But
I mean,
that's definitely something to think on.
there's something there, I think, in that story. Most stories, if you look hard enough, contain a grain of truth, after all.
Yes. Well, I do hope we meet again.
So do I.
And I hope the next time we meet that those little ones are the way they should be.
Let us hope so.
And I will keep praying, and hopefully the boss takes, you know, notice
that
and
would
helps
be-
at some point.
That would be delightful.
Even better, he might wake up and come and knock a few heads together and say, "What are you doing?"
He may well do it that. I suspect that if he does, then a lot of the more, how can I put this, aggressive types may find themselves in awe, which would be good,
That would be so righteous.
as you say. So, I thank you for your gift, and I wish you well, friends. And if
And
you-
you'll see this sort of 8 foot tall furball literally bend in half at the waist.
She sort of nods and then goes back to her concentration. You see the green mist gets thicker, and you, as you're standing in it, as you turn to leave, hang on 1 second. Can roll that. You heal for 23 points.
We can't have dice, sorry.
And his friends would head for the door and sort of like, he would probably be able to still hear him, but he'd be like, I met a dragon.
If
This
you look
is
back, you just see its tiny twitch of a smile at the corner of her mouth.
I met a dragon and I'm going to get to meet more. He's so cool.
You hear a slight chuckle in your mind as you leave. So, as you sort of make your way up this path that you saw the rest of them going, you get you exit up into the city, and you can hear voices, quite a few voices. Not angry, but questioning, and there's sort of, oh, what's going on here then? Where's that? What the bloody hell's that? And you can see in the distance your companions walking to a particular building, which is the local pub, which I, for some reason, didn't have a name for. So let's. I know, I'm such a bad DM.
I mean, you're competing with
The hammered slag.
Hammered Slag.
I know.
So
And that poor nameless tiefling that died all alone in the cave.
This
That went on for half a second about.
Maybe you can go with the slags hammered.
Yeah.
I thought this was called the Broken Pig.
Oh, actually, yes, you're right. Your local tavern. Broken Pick. There we go.
I just made that up as we went
I know.
along. But
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. We're going with that. So, the rest of you, as you making your way to the Broken Pick, which is your local tavern.
is it for local people?
It is for local dwarves. They'll have no trouble there.
As we walk along, I'll be at the front probably with Gus, and I'll just be going, "You all right? Good to see you.
There's lots.
How you doing?"
That's okay.
Just very much engaging with everyone along the way.
There's a lot of
In a
dwarves,
friendly way.
and you notice that it's a lot of fighting age dwarves, sort of around your age, not much older, but nobody younger. There are a few around Sybil's sort of age, but they tend to be more in positions of power and command, so they kind of, they're sort of, you can tell that the city isn't as vibrant as it used to be. It used to be kids running all around the place, and the old folks would be out, supervising the kids, commenting on whatever the youngsters are doing wrong, the general,
which is everything usually.
yeah,
Standard stuff.
everything is wrong. It's not like they used to be, but they're basically charged with looking after the really young'uns and passing on their wisdom in the form of crotchety oldness. So, but that's missing. So the city has a very different vibe to it. It's more geared up for war. There's a sort of held aggression there that you think could, if you, some of you, especially Melissa, would notice the aggression. There's just that little line. You think somebody says something wrong, somebody does something wrong. The place is ready to fight, and not in the dwarven way that you've come to be used to with Yorick and Gus. You know, friendly banter, pushing each other off cliffs and stuff. More like actual real bloodshed could happen here. Especially, they're on edge. It's not the atmosphere that you guys are used to, Yorick, Gus. So people are wary, and so they nod at you lot, at you, Yorick, and Gus, and Trelador, even Sprocket, sorry. And the rest of you get stares. Especially Melissa and Florian. And then you see in the distance Ferenz appear, and people start pointing at him. And there are a few shouts of, What's this then? What's this then? Who are you?
We're your friends.
And you see, you can see axes just not being drawn, but hands being put to weapons.
Everyone, just calm down. We've got 2 Scalebanes here. I'm sure you've heard of the family, so let's just be cool.
Yep. And we respect Sybil, but this is a bit much, Yorick.
In Dwarvish, friends would say, "Hi, I'm friends."
They pointedly ignore you.
Cool.
And talk to Yorick again. Yorick? Why is that monster talking Dwarvish? What's going on? Why are there big people in here?
It's alright, they're friends, honestly. We have just been speaking with Sybil. She's acting head of Scalebanes at the moment. Acting head of the Scalebane household. Trying to make it sound all official. We're just going to get the other council members to go and speak to her and sort all of this out. Don't worry, everything's fine. Everything's going to get better. And I'm promising you that.
And that's right after we go to the pub for a quick drink.
Yeah, we were just going to get a quick pint.
Okay, make persuasion or intimidation. Your choice. Whichever one you want to do.
Pints before politics.
Oh yeah.
Can I give an advantage?
Yes, I was just about to say you can have advantage because Gus has mentioned going to the pub first, which, you know, dwarven tradition.
Persuasion or intimidation?
Yeah. Well,
Excellent.
unless you can think of something else that you might like to do that's better, that makes sense.
No, I don't think I can swindle it in any other way.
Well, I mean, if you... Let's have a look. What have you got? Yeah,
This is the problem with me, a friendly person trying to make any sort of charisma check.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad stat for you, isn't it?
About using your religion as a priest of Reorcs.
Yeah, but the problem, you didn't mention anything to do with religion. You went for Scalebane, you went for Dwarven Society. So it's more of a persuasion or a...
Hey, I can just roll it if that's...
you've got advantage. The dice will decide.
Maybe a dwarf roll.
Hey, 16.
16.
There was an 18.
Pretty good. So, you can see that the guy you're talking to, you recognise from a few years back. That you don't have much to do with him, but he was a bit of a dick. But he seems to be sort of, all right then. You buying then? Are you, Scalebane?
Yeah, dwarven currency. Okay.
Yeah, Gus has already answered for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's go.
Right, you heard that, lads. First round's on Scalebanes. So they give you an escort to the pub. You get in, and there's a few people dotted about, and the woman behind the bar stands there. Ah, Gus, Yorick, how's it going? Got some?
Right.
Oh, hello. You're tall.
It's all fine. We're just here to grab a great pint before we start
Oh,
dealing
there's a
with the
lot of
punters.
you.
Yeah, we do.
Right,
We've
lads.
got a few barrels.
You see the back is just rammed with these huge, enormous barrels. If you, for those of you who played World of Warcraft, the dwarven taverns with these huge barrels at the back. That's what this looks like.
What is the currency we use here? We never even talked about that.
No,
Yeah.
indeed not. So the currency for the dwarven city is not gold. It's fairly pointless. Gold is a thing to make things out of. It's not used as a coinage. The currency is, there are stone chips like runes.
Right.
Yeah. And they're about sort of about that high, I suppose. Thick, and they're engraved with precious metals. So
Right.
gold or silver or platinum, depending on what sort of value is put on. The precious metals are just for decoration. They're written, the numbers down like that. I would suggest that as Scalebays, you're fairly wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say you would have the equivalent of, not, well, on you, probably about, I don't know, 5,000 gold's worth of chips.
Oh, fair enough. I'm sure we can drink that.
That was 2 zeros more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Scaleman family have been generally the Drake hunters, and their position in the city means that you are a fairly wealthy family. You're one of the 4 major families. So
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll be able to work out the sort of money we'd need to buy a drink for everybody that's coming with us.
yeah, I mean, drink is not that expensive here. It's, you would say, probably, I don't know, for a decent ale, 10 copper. Well, yeah, so a silver, say.
Well, I'll stick sort of like equivalent of about 50 gold on the bar and say, drinks for everyone.
Oh, she said, that's very generous of you. Pours herself one first. Right. Starts distributing ale all round. Unless you want anything in special, you know.
Well, I'll take the first dwarven ale that I get and I'll just down it in one and just go, oh, that's bloody good. I've missed that.
Okay, anybody else drinking a dwarven ale? There are plenty to choose from. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I will because I'm trying to fit in.
Yeah,
I will as well.
awesome.
Yeah, it seems to be the custom. So, friends, he's going to copy
Gus.
Gus, and being a big chap, he's going to take it down in one.
Okay, cool. It tastes.
Rather out of character, Lee. Sorry.
So it tastes like nothing you've ever had before. This beer is just slightly sweet, malty. It's fairly. It's not a dark ale, but it's sort of a mid ale, and it is not too thick, but it tastes a bit like mead if you've had sort of honey mead, but it's yeah, there you go. So, but it's got a certain tang to it that is just, as it goes down, it is just beautiful.
Mr. Gus,
Yeah.
I'm not a drinker, but that is magnificent. Can I have another
It
one?
is brilliant. There, here you go. And I'll just give him another one.
I'll be just sipping mine like I'm used to drinking wine and posh stuff like that. So
I mean, this
I'll be
tastes delicious. It's the best ale you've ever had, and it certainly knocks a few wines out of the park as well.
This
This
is
is,
going to take
or-
her Stein and just drink it all in one as well.
Yeah.
Distinctly out of character, though.
I'm going to have necked the first one right at the bar, and then taken a second and just kind of sat down in a corner like, it's good to be home.
It certainly is.
Or Mia gets too drunk, because I'm presuming that this is going to knock anyone non-dwarven right on their arse.
It's possible.
I want to ask the bartender for a beer skin to take away. I'm going to ask
Tickly?
now before I forget.
Sure. Okay, we could probably do that. She sort of looks around. Oh, right. Okay. She gets a small. It's not really a skin. It's more of a tiny barrel type thing. Would that be all right?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
It'll fit in the bag.
So it's got about 4 steins worth in it. She just sort of plonks it on the table on the bar for you.
I think we've lost Martin to cosplay.
Yes.
This is fucking good though.
Awesome.
I was expecting you to actually roleplay it then when he knocked back the first one.
That would be a waste, though, wouldn't it, Martin?
Yeah.
It would.
Martin's too cultured for that.
Okay, so anyone that's knocking one back, I would like a Constitution check.
Does that include dwarves?
Apart from unless you're a dwarf. For Edge, you can have one at advantage because of your size.
Well, I'm not knocking it back. I'm just sipping.
You're just sipping, then you don't have to do it.
Yeah. I got a 19 and then improved it to a 20.
Nice.
So that's a natural 20 for 24.
Lovely. Yeah, no, you're fine. This is delicious.
Yes.
16.
16. Whew, you feel a bit as it goes down the first time. Oh, that's good. Oh, wow. Possibly not going to have too many more of those.
6.
6. Melissa, flat out, just like rams his back. Your eyes just sort of like dislocate all of a sudden, and the whole room just goes in a sort of weird blur, and you just sit down immediately behind you. Anybody who wants to throw a chair behind Melissa is welcome to make a dex check.
I will do it, and
Yeah,
I will sort of at the same time, Melissa will just feel Ferenczi's sort of hand on her back, and because I know that I get the feeling that form is important to these people, I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration immediately to counteract the
Okay.
the
Well, what
alcohol.
I'll say then is that's a lot of things to be doing all in one go as a reaction. So I would say you could
Well,
do
if
the
Florian's
you could
doing
do
the chair.
I was going to say Florian does the dex check for the chair, and Ferenz, as you're helping her into the chair, you can cast Lesser Restoration.
Cool.
If anything, though, falling over drunk is respected.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but curling would probably be a deep insult
Maybe
to
after
dwarves,
what?
so
22 for the dex check.
Yeah, not a problem. You just literally hook a chair across with your foot and just slide it behind Melissa. It sort of bangs into the back of her knees as Ferenz just on her shoulder just guides her down into it. Melissa, you feel really drunk. Really. And then as you feel Ferenz's hand on you, you feel a lot better. So, and it passes.
Miss Melissa, maybe don't do that again. You're not as big as I am. Maybe take the next one a bit slower, yeah?
That would be going against my plan. I might just not have any more. Leave the rest for everyone else.
Okay, so is anybody not drinking? Right.
Let me roll to see whether I am or not.
No, just decide. Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Fair play.
Do it.
Let's
Do
all
it.
get
I'm going to do it.
Any dagger?
Okay, are you downing it or are you just sipping it?
Hell no, I'm sipping.
Okay.
I'm far too dignified to down.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an elf.
So, as you and Sprocket sip your ale, and it is absolutely beautiful, it tastes divine. And you can see why, everybody else is nicking it straight away because it's just gorgeous. Florian, make a... Well, how are you playing this off? Are you going to deceive that you're actually drinking, or are you going to... What's the plan here? Just gonna
No,
abstain
no
completely.
deception. Just abstain. Yeah, Florian, as we will all remember from this moment on, going into the second part of this campaign, is completely opposite to Fiddy.
Yeah.
Roll a square check.
Roll a square check.
Honestly,
Yeah, no deception. I'm just how he's always been, just very on guard with the world affairs going on, and is just
Okay.
being on it.
All right. Fair enough. A few of the
wanna-
dwarves do notice and sort of give you a bit of a weird look, but nothing is said out loud. So good. So
Sorry, Gus. This isn't what I expected. I know you kept talking about the dwarven tipple.
Or our beer, yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yes,
You can understand why we call that human stuff horse piss.
yes, this is. I could learn to like this, and I've sort of got like the tankard with my little pinky finger sort of out. So I still don't know how to drink this like this. Yes, I suppose I'm going to have to get used to drinking this, maybe.
Oh, you don't have to get used to it. You just have to enjoy it.
Yes. I feel decidedly out of place here, so I'll let you do the talking for once, Gus.
Well, that's all right. I'm the brains anyway, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yes, you are, apparently.
Right then, let's have another.
Just one more there, Gus, because we've got important business to do.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Cool.
So just one more. I don't let anyone else drink anymore because they'll be fat on their asses.
Okay.
is anyone else going to have another one?
There's probably a tankard on the bar in front of me that I am heavily contemplating.
Okay.
I'm still working on my first.
Yeah, so
And friends, you took a second to sip, if I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yorick, Ferenz looks to be fine. Melissa, you saw just as expected, but now seems to be fine. The others are sipping. Miette, did you drink?
I had one point, and then asked for the booze to go before I got too drunk.
Okay. Cool.
And now I'm trying to decide would I risk the second, given the strong effect of the first.
what's the worst that can happen?
Up to you.
Because
I
of
could.
attacked by dwarves.
Yeah, chased out of the city.
Would it go up to
Actually,
Fred?
yeah, that's a good point. I will have the second drink because, you know, I have stories to build for my people. And if I get attacked by the dwarves and chased out of the city, that's an excellent story.
It is indeed an excellent story. So,
What a rationale.
Are you necking it or are you sipping it? What's the plan?
I kind of half and half maneuver, kind of, you know, gulping it. But
Okay. Right.
the problem is I have this mental image of what would happen when you combine a tabaxi with quaffing, and nobody needs that with wet cat.
Miette is basically doing it for the banter at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I will get you to do a constitution check. You don't get disadvantage because you're not necking the whole thing. So just a straight constitution check.
10.
10. Oh,
Yeah.
mama. That was... you suddenly realise this was a mistake. And you start to sort of... Your eyes just do that weird sort of blur for a minute. And it's like, ooh.
This time I'll put my hand on her shoulder and cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay. So,
I would have been.
you can resist if you want to resist.
I was going to resist. I was going to, you know, suggest people, you know, go with the image of a tabaxi walking on all fours for the lols. It's like, I'm fine. It's steadier this way.
I'm not as thick as you drunk I am.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Just, I know everyone is looking at the group anyway, because obviously there's big uns in Daghold and that.
Oh, yeah, you are
But
definitely the
it's,
centre of attention.
Yeah, but is there anyone who is looking shifty and taking a particular interest in us?
make a perception check.
Yeah, until a few moments ago, I'd forgotten the whole existential dread we were under. So
Are there
campaign
any
was nice and lighthearted until that.
Are there any non-dwarves apart from us?
Make
in
a
this
perception
pub?
check. It's not a high DC.
15. I got.
15.
High
Darcy?
DC, Brumtish.
17.
Okay. So, Florian, you're looking specifically for anybody looking shifty or not joining in, and you see near the door there is one dwarf. She's a little bit shorter and skinnier than most of the other dwarves. She looks sort of almost gaunt, with sort of long blonde braids
Mm-hmm.
and axes at her sides. And she's just sort of stood there. She's not acting suspiciously, but she's definitely not joining in, which in a dwarven tavern seems odd.
And taking more of an interest.
Not exactly taking more of an interest. She's scanning the room, much like you are.
Yeah.
There is free beer and she's not partaking. That is the biggest giveaway.
That is a big note. So, Celeste, on your 17, there are no non-dwarves in here. It's only you guys.
Well, I'll just go and take. Are you at the bar, Yorick, or sat down?
No, I found a seat, feet up.
Yeah, so I'd just go and find a seat next to Yorick, and just, as you do, like in a bar, it's a bit loud and everything, just lean into Yorick, and just go. And I need to do the accent now for the first time. Mr. Yorick, don't look straight away, but just by the door, there's a young or a female dwarf just not joining in, looking quite gaunt, blonde braids. Recognize her? She's scanning the room just like I've been.
I'll sort of lean back in, just say,
You recognise this person?
Do I?
Yeah, absolutely. She works here. She's the bouncer. That's Yulara. I can't remember her. Yulara Shorehammer. So she's descended from one of the other great families, but she's more of a my word. I'm sorry.
Happy time.
Newest member of the party.
Hello, Lily.
Quick, full screen. Hello, gorgeous. She can't hear. Oh,
gorgeous.
Bloody beautiful.
She's a level 1 druid.
Oh, Lily.
I know, she's a rogue. She's quick and can disappear on you.
She is quick. What are you doing? Why are you eating that? Don't,
My charisma, though.
Don't eat me.
Is she not a bard in that she's stealing everyone's hearts?
No.
She's chewing on your ears. The cable.
Yeah.
He's been trying to eat his ears all day.
Yeah.
She's coming to the meat shop, right?
Yeah.
she will go wherever we go.
Because she's Chazzy's child, she's therefore a
That's
warlock.
my jumper. Yeah.
Mine now.
My jumper. Fiend.
No.
She's definitely.
She's a warlock and Chaz is her patron.
Yeah. Could be the other way around. We don't know yet. We haven't got that far. But she's just woken up, so she's a little sleepy.
Bless her.
So, anyway, where do we get to?
Yes, I'm going to lean back to Florian and just say, "Mate, I'm impressed. You can tell that's a woman. Don't worry, beards everywhere. Don't worry, she's just a bouncer. It's fine."
Okay.
Yeah. So, as Yorick could happily tell you, or Gus, there's always got to be somebody that knows what's going on in a tavern. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it's the innkeeper themselves, sometimes they hire someone else to do it. But Yalara, Yorick, as you know, has rebelled against her family tradition and doesn't drink. So she's kind of an oddity in Daghold. She's perfectly nice. She just won't drink.
That's why she's so skinny.
Could be.
Because we get most of our goodies from beer.
Yeah.
It's the biggest source of food intake for us.
Yeah. So.
I will. I'm not going to role play all of this, but I will go up to her and I'm going to just make some nice conversation with her.
Yeah.
I think just, even if I've never really spoken to her before, I think my experience of being the stranger in the outside world will have given me a perspective on her life in Jackhold as a bit of an outsider.
Yeah, I mean, she appreciates it. I mean, you've spoken briefly sometimes before, but never had a proper conversation, and she appreciates that. And yeah, seems like you're winning friends all over the place, Yorick.
How to make friends and influence people.
Indeed.
Buy more beer.
Well, there is that. So, you've each had 1 or 2 pints. Some of you may have finished them. What's the plan? In fact, what we'll do is we'll have a little break, and I can assist with the demon child, and yeah, we will be right back after these sponsorship messages, which may or may not include puppies. Who knows? Right, welcome back. The puppy has... Nope, she's staring at me now because I did that. So, we come back to the party about to leave, I'm assuming. The broken neck?
Yeah. Gus and I will round everyone up.
Yeah, okay. Yalara gives you a nod as you pass by.
I will bring up the rear to make sure that everyone shepherd everybody out.
Okay.
Before we leave, I'll just tell the landlady just to keep giving drinks till the money runs out.
Right you are, Gus. On it. Cheers.
Very much.
So, you walk out into the street. Some of you slightly more wobbly than others. Some of you completely sober because you've been lesser restorationed. So, where would you like to go first? You've got two places to go. One is for Thrinian Lodelv, who is for the Lodelvs, who's part of the mining guild, and Baidlin Shorehammer from the Gem Cutters Guild.
Oh, let's go to Thrinan first.
Okay, so Thrinian Lodelv, you know, likes to hang out at the guild hall itself if he's not at home. This time of day, he's probably in the guild hall.
We'll head there.
Okay, so you head to the guild hall, and walking along through the city, the rest of you see. I mean, Yorick and Gus, this is home. You've lived here all your life. You know it like the back of your hand. It's really easy to get around. The rest of you, the twists and turns that these guys are taking is absolutely astonishing. It's like a maze, this place, and there are holes in the rock walls at strange angles, and some of them have glass in, some of them are just empty, and nearly all of them, as you pass by, have a bearded face looking out at you, just to see what's going on and what's occurring. And indeed, you gather a sort of a band of followers almost, just interested to see what you lot are doing. They're not aggressive or anything like that since the speech earlier. They're just more curious as to what two of the Scalebane family are doing with all these outsiders. So, as you approach the guild hall of the Miners Guild, it's big, it's impressive. There are large pieces of uncut precious metals, like big lumps of ore, and there's a lump of iron mounted on a plinth. There's a lump of gold. This is, for many of you, the biggest piece of gold you've ever seen in your life. It's easily 8 foot high. And these are mounted outside. You know, like most all these impressive palaces and stuff have lions out front. These have these huge bits of ore on plinths leading up to a set of stairs that go up into a grand doorway.
Yeah, your Aldris is showing.
Is it Aldrich sized?
Careful. Aldris would be very, very happy with this bit of gold.
Okay.
He'd be making plans on getting somebody to lift it for him. Looking at Fiddy.
Yeah.
So, the guild hall.
Obviously, that is not anything that Gus and I would be.
Absolutely not. You're impressed by the size of the chunks that have been dug out of the ground by the mining guild. Not being miners yourselves, I mean, you hobbyists, yes, but not really what you do for a living. These guys are artists. The stuff they bring out of the ground is astonishing on a daily basis. And they're also responsible for all the tunneling, all the building works. They oversee all of the stone cutting, all of the defences, all of those sorts of things. You're sort of lumped into the Miners Guild. So, walking in, it's more sparsely populated than you remember. There seem to be fewer people about, and you realise it's the older members are not here, and none of the apprentices are here. Hold on, puppy.
What the puppy is?
Oh. Sod. Sorry. The apprentices aren't here either. It's just, again, the working age dwarves that are here. And even then, there are fewer than you remember being here. But one you definitely do is the man himself. Threnan Lodelf comes striding out to meet you. Well, striding's really the wrong word. He used to stride. You remember him being a fine figure of a dwarf, robust, purposeful, heavily muscled. But he looks old, really old. And he's moving more slowly than you remember. He's still got that sort of swagger about him, but he's more delicate in his steps, as if he's suddenly become old or infirm. He looks at you. Well, well, well. Young Scalebanes, eh? What is it you're wanting?
Looking mighty as ever. Good to see you.
Yes. Welcome to the Mining Guild, all of you. You're all a bit tall, but I suppose we could do something. But what brings mighty Scalebanes to the Mining Guild?
We would like to invite you to a meeting. Sybil, the acting head of the Scalebane House, has invited you to a meeting.
I was under the impression that Sybil was indisposed.
No. She is disposed again.
Not sure that's how that word works, but okay.
No. I certainly didn't want to say she's disposable.
Well, she's definitely not that.
No.
No.
No, that would be a mistake. I think you're fine.
She's rejoined Dwarven Society.
This is all in Dwarvish, by the way.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Sorry. Sybil made an effort because Sybil's Sybil, but this fella, not a chance.
The reason that kept her indisposed has been cleared up, and she's now inviting you to a meeting.
Right. So, this meeting, who else is there?
Well, at the moment it's just Sybil, but we're also off to get Baelin as well.
Right.
And that other bloke, what's it, that priest bloke, he's going to be there as well.
Oh, that priest bloke's there too, yeah.
Varant? Varant
Yeah,
there?
Yeah, he's there.
Interesting. And where is this meeting?
It's at our house.
At Sybil's house.
At this... Sorry. Varant is in Sybil's house.
Yes.
Right.
If you'd like to come with us, we can get Baelin, and then we can go there, and you can talk with Sybil.
Is this a... He sort of looks around at the rest of you?
I mean, I'm assuming this is something. His reaction is a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he expected.
He's well. Make an insight check.
Oh, you bastard!
I will as well, because I was the one who was talking about having to. Although I do get a -1, so I don't have to roll. No, I got a natural 1 -1, so I got 0.
Oh my lord!
Both nat ones. Amazing.
That is just perfect. So
it is.
He seems a bit dodgy, but he's always seemed a bit dodgy. I think there's something about, working deep in the mines that does something to a dwarf.
A bit weird, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit odd. Right, so what I'll do is I'll meet you there. If that's all the same with you.
All right.
Okay.
Right. What time? Soon
As soon as you like.
Soon as.
As soon as you like.
Give it maybe get there in about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Right.
Gives us time to go get Caitlin as well.
Very well. I'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Question for the DM.
Yep.
So this is the father of the bouncer dwarf, or the family of?
No.
Oh.
That's the other
Okay.
one.
That's
other
the one you're about to go see.
Right.
Yolara's a sure hammer.
Sure hammer. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a low delve. This is Thrin and low delve.
Okay. Regardless, anyway, his. I don't know what he looked like before as a character, but his did he look anything like the bouncer Sure hammer with being gaunt or anything like
I mean, you can. Hang on.
She's being a low delve at the moment.
She is.
She's got the devil in her to save me.
She's got a devil in her, apparently.
He wants to play D&D.
She does. So, where did I get to? Yeah, so looking for familial.
Yeah, so all the other dwarves were all the other dwarves in the bar were looked quite healthy, and you mentioned that this one looked gaunt and everything, and you mentioned this one. My first appearance of seeing them are quite.
Okay, make an insight check.
Lily could play Bridris. It's the right colour.
She's just
First
about
one
as
of the
chaotic.
campaign.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Rolled a 10, 17.
17. Whilst Yolara was thinner, gaunt, this guy, Thrinan, seems old. Not gaunt, but old and frail. There's a difference. You think Yolara is probably just not eating as much as other dwarves, and certainly not drinking. But you wouldn't know that. But this guy seems, I don't know, something off about him. Maybe it's too much drink, not enough food, or maybe it's something else. Perhaps there's something affecting him.
Yeah.
It's a fairly high roll, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll wait till we leave and then I'll just pick up with Yorick again.
Friends would just be quietly at the back of the room, passively scanning.
Okay. You looking for anything particular?
Anybody that's sort of, I suppose, reacting out of character or sort of off, shall we say?
Okay, make a perception check.
That's actually not too
You're out of character in a place you've never met anyone. Difficult to know character.
Yeah, but he's been around Yorick and Gus, and sort of he's going to base his I suppose his baseline of dwarven behaviour off these two.
Okay.
Which
awesome.
I understand. I understand.
Disadvantage.
Out of character, that is incredibly chaotic. But yeah, 26.
26. There doesn't seem to be anybody acting out of character. You pick up a lot of curiosity from people that are following you about and sort of peeking out of windows. But in the Miners Guild itself, you don't see anybody else. There's nobody else there. There was when you first walked in. There were about 4 or 5 different people, but they've gone. So, as you exit,
we leave the Miners Guild.
Sorry.
As we leave the Miners Guild, we're venturing out through the city to get the next person. I want to keep an eye as we go for a very certain symbol on any of the buildings that we pass.
Well, what symbol would that be?
Never actually explained it, but it's the one from a certain business that likes to, not advertise too broadly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. You can also make a perception check with advantage because you know what you're looking for.
Advantage. Oh, you bastard! That was almost natural 20, but it's a 16.
16.
Yeah.
You haven't seen any so far.
That wasn't with advantage, though, was it?
Was that advantage?
Well, I clicked the advantage button on the.
Only just did one roll.
Yeah. Shall I try again just to be sure? 22.
22.
I'll start doing again. Thank you, James.
Yeah. Let me just give the devil dog away because she's going back to sleep. So.
I like devil dog. It's like wake up, cause chaos. No.
Wake up, cause chaos, go back to sleep.
Yep, it's sitting very well with the campaign.
Absolutely. So yeah, you haven't noticed any so far, and on your exit of the Miners Guild, you cast around, and you see one that's similar. It's about 2 or 3 buildings, or it's difficult to tell because the buildings tend to run into each other. There's no sort of defined alleyways between buildings, but sometimes there are. But on this stretch of road that you're walking down, or pathway, there's about sort of 6 or 7 buildings, and the third one along, there's a sort of. I mean, it's nothing anybody would really notice. I mean, Yorick and Gus have probably passed by it every day and not even noticed it's there. It's a small symbol right at the base of a step that's familiar enough that you think that's what that is.
Okay. I shall make mental note to return later because I think with half the city following us, there's no slipping away quietly at the moment.
I mean, you could try if you wanted to.
But then I'd miss out on the drama of the council meetings, so.
That is true. Okay.
Well, one must choose one's dramas.
Oh, get involved in all the dramas. So, walking through the next sort of set of maze, you would. Sorry, it's chaos is happening over there now. You would notice that you would know that Baidlin would probably be at the Gemcutters Guild at this time of day. So you make a beeline for that. And you gather, so there's now about sort of 25, 30 dwarves following you. Not in any sort of sinister way. They're just sort of, something weird is happening. Let's go and have a look. Yeah. And it's Gus and Yorick, so it must be good. Something bonkers is going to happen. They're just waiting for it to go chaotic.
Shenaniganry.
Yeah, so you get to the Gemcutters Guild, and this place is. You thought the last place was show-offy? This place is out of this world. Melissa, in particular. This place, you come from a jewel crafting family. They own, 4 or 5 shops, maybe more now? You've never seen an abundance of gems like this. There are huge, sort of, not bags, but sort of like stone urns full of different coloured gems. As you walk into the doorway, there are rubies, there are opals, there are diamonds, there are sapphires, topaz, onyx. Any gem you could think of is here in abundance. This is where the wealth is generated for Daghold.
bit uncomfortable then.
Yeah. Now, of course, all of you knowing what you know and how these gems are prepared, or mined,
There's no way this guy isn't in on it.
suspicions may be rife. And again, the hall is beautiful, and there are 4 or 5 dwarves working away, and Baelin himself walks to greet you. Obviously, news travels fast, and Baelin is happy to see you. So, Yorick, Gus, you've come for... I'm guessing that Sybil has called a meeting, is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So I thought so. So...
You're sharper than Trinan, at least.
Well... Trinan, bless him, he's always been a bit of a... They're too far underground, you see. I mean, I know they bring us back these beautiful stones with which we make the wealth of the city, but he's not as sharp as his pick would suggest. If
I'm
you
assuming
follow
this is
my
in
meaning.
Dwarvish as well.
No, this is in common.
Okay.
So, lots of outsiders and a tabaxi to boot. Hello.
Tip half.
Indeed, and if there's anything we can do for you whilst you're here, do let me know. If there's any particular, we have some beautiful new rubies that could be of benefit to perhaps your, shall we say, trading empire.
Alas, I do not have the company books on me to arrange such a payment. Unless, of course, you wish to give them in advance on commission. I've lost the accent. And perhaps the next boat along could settle the payment with you.
He looks very confused when you speak.
Damn it.
So, let me just roll it. Yeah, he's really confused. So, perhaps another time we will bring up your business partners, and perhaps we could speak on the top side, as it were. So I always find it's more conducive to business for your kind to be in the open air, near the water, because obviously that's the thing you do the best, isn't it? Anybody wants to make an insight check? Just
he doesn't realise that Miette is not part of.
Make an insight check.
No, he does. That's the problem.
Yeah, somewhat out of character for friends. Like the jangle of the scales on his armor has changed to a bit more discordant, in line with his mood.
Okay.
I specifically want to insight check
far too busy
with
to
him
notice
talking
that.
about
So
the when he's talking about like where they get the gems, where they mine it up and stuff. Does he actually believe that, or is he concealing the truth there?
So okay, sorry, you go ahead.
I was going to ask if there was any way if I could tell where the gems had come from, whether they had been mined legitimately or illegitimately.
You can roll a...
And we have seen the cast of gems that come out of these creatures.
You can roll a nature check. See if these gems are natural or forced. It's pretty fairly high DC.
25?
25, interesting. Okay, so who else was making an insight check?
Yeah, I'll definitely do an insight check on that. Because
what do you want to know about?
Oh, whether he believes whether he's lying when he says he gets the gems from the other guy.
Okay, cool. So let's start with who will. So it's Melissa, Gus, Celeste,
Florian.
Ferenz, and Florian. Florian, what are you looking for in particular?
So I'm definitely making sure that he isn't playing stupid by not realising Miette isn't from the Treading Waters.
Okay, cool. Right, so let's start with the 25 that was already announced, Celeste. You're looking at the gems specifically. You're not looking about him. A lot of these gems seem to be natural, but not all of them. As you sort of look at the stone coffers, you can see that the scattering of gems on the top is natural, but the ones like 2 or 3 deep down seem to be more the sort of the attributes you would associate with the forced from dragon eggs and dragon monstrosities.
I will deliberately pick one of the false ones out and examine it, and then sort of give a significant look to Yorick, Gus, and Ferenz.
Okay. So, next, Ferenz.
He's laser focused on this guy. And sorry, he actually needs to roll.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, that would help. 23.
23. Okay. And you were looking for, sorry, remind me, everybody's doing different things.
Yeah, so sort of the general tinkle of Frenz's armor is usually in line with his mood.
Right.
But sort of the tinkle of the scales has become a little bit discordant, and he's absolutely fully laser focused on this guy. Trying to work out whether he's playing us or not.
Okay, you got 23. He's definitely dodgy. There's something he's not... There's lots he's not saying, and you get the feeling that this guy is a natural-born salesman, a natural-born liar, and just not particularly pleasant. So, Melissa.
Person who lived for several years in a city of liars.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Natural 20 for 25.
Okay, and what was it you were specifically asking?
I was focusing on him saying that all of these gems that we mine up.
Yeah.
Saying, does he believe that they've all been mined up, or does he know? Is he deliberately lying on that?
I mean, you got to respect the natural 20, right? So, he knows that the majority of his gems are no longer mined. Some of them are. And he'll happily show you those ones. And when he sells them to you, he'll sell the other ones. He knows that what's going on. And on the natural 20, I will also say that he absolutely detests Thrinan. You can just feel it oozing out of him. So, Florian.
Yes, roll quite low, 16.
16, and you were after...
The
to see whether he...
Miette Treading Waters,
okay.
Yeah.
You're not sure. You get the impression that he wasn't sure at first, but as soon as Miette started to speak, it was fairly obvious that he just went, this is not who I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not to self-work on nonsense.
So, who am I missing? Gus.
Mine was much the same as Melissa's, but I only rolled a 17, 18 minus 1.
Right.
So I'd say I sort of pick up a little bit that he's maybe...
Yeah, you're not sure whether he knows...
Something wrong, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you're not sure whether he knows of
But he's
the
definitely
monstrosity, but he's definitely involved somehow.
Right, okay.
Okay, did I miss anyone? Everybody... No, everybody's had their insight checks. Okay, so... As he's finishing his sort of slightly reassessment of Miette, So, meeting just now, or shall I pop along in, say, a couple of hours? Maybe
No,
even...
it's going right about now. Well, in about 10 minutes. Time or
Right
so.
about now. Oh, well, you must at least give me a few moments to grab a gift for the lovely Sybil.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
20 minutes, right?
We'll see you there.
Well, of course, Yorick. Why would I delay any more? 2?
2 questions.
Okay.
Yes. Does this place have a back exit? And can we cover it? Because he does strike me as the guy who'll just go, I'll be back in a moment, and leaves.
Okay. There are several doors in the room that you're in. You don't know whether one of them would lead to an exit. Yorick or Gus might, depending on how many times they've been in the Jewel
I doubt
Cutters
it for
Guild. But
me, at least.
they're Drake hunters, so it's probable that they wouldn't know.
We'd have spent months city at a time. We'd have only come back for short periods before heading back out.
Yeah.
So
Mostly to drink.
Mostly to drink.
Yeah.
I was going to say, back for short periods and most of that in the pub.
Is Balin laser focused on Yorick and Gus at the moment?
Not really. You can see his eyes darting to everyone, assessing, trying to work out who's what and what's occurring.
How many?
Why? What do you want to do?
Well, when his attention is not on me, I want to try and slip a legitimate and an illegitimate gem into my pocket.
Oh, you're trying to steal. Cool. Give me a sleight of hand check.
How many other workers are in this?
5.
Where's she gone, Jazz?
She's here.
Mm.
Oof.
Hey, that's not good.
Into the jail.
Okay.
Jail for mother for 1,000 years.
He rolled low, but he still beat you. So he quick as a snake. He just reaches out and grabs your hand. We are overly generous sometimes in our treatment of potential customers, but taking things without particular recompense. Master Scalebanes, would you inform your friend? That's not how things are done here.
That's incredibly rude. Why would you try to steal?
My apologies, I was overtaken by their beauty.
Indeed, they are fantastic, are they not? But until one pays for the shiny things, one cannot have the shiny things. Okay?
I don't think we're worried about that. Right, we'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Scalebane HQ, I assume.
Yeah.
Marvellous. I'll see you there.
Aye.
And he watches us all
Right then.
leave, just in case you decide to dip into the coffers.
As we're walking out, I'll whisper.
You're red.
Hang on. One at a time.
Go on then.
Right.
You're right.
No. I was
Right.
being silly. You go.
All right. As we're walking, when we get outside, I'll whisper over to Yorick. He's hiding something. He's a bit dodgy. I was watching him and I was looking to see. I'm learning, you see.
Are you two speaking in Dwarvish?
No, probably speaking in common because they're less likely to be understood by other people.
Yeah,
That's
no,
using your melon.
Yeah.
he
From the brain.
definitely knows.
Oh.
The way he was speaking around him, he absolutely knows where most of those gems come from.
Right. We need to watch
He
him.
also doesn't seem super fond of the other guy, the Manon councilman.
My apologies, Yorick. I was simply trying to procure
No,
a gem
it's,
that was both
it's
legitimate
fine.
and illegitimate.
I know what you were doing, but when he caught you, I had to.
Of course, but
It's fine.
just...
How long is it till your mother's from here? Yeah.
It's about 10 minutes back. I tried to give us enough time so we could get back before they got to us, because I didn't want like one of them getting there before we were.
I'm just. How long was the journey from? For me, this is not my character. The journey from the pub to the jewelers.
5-10 minutes.
Okay. I'm just a little bit apprehensive that he found out exactly what we were there for before we even got there.
I don't know. I don't know.
We did somewhat announce it before going into the pub.
That's true, we did.
Yeah.
Would people
Okay.
would people worry if I ran back to your mum's without you?
I think you better stay with us.
Think
If you're
so.
running around by yourself, you might get bonked on the head.
It would not surprise me if a fellow such as Balin has eyes and ears all over the place, and especially if, as Melissa says, that he is not overly keen on somebody like Thrinham, he might be spying on him.
True. Well,
Let's
all you
move
do
back
is
at a fast pace, but not running because we'll panic people.
look, and I'll even as we're moving, I'll try and huddle everyone in. Still speaking in common to try and be less understood. You know, if it turns out that Varand, Thrinan, and Balin all knew and were in on it, then we've got quite an overhaul to do here.
What was the name of the crafting guild guy? I think I missed it.
Thrinham.
Thrinham
No, that was the
is
mining guild guy.
Guild.
Oh,
And
Balin.
Baedlin.
Baedlyn.
There you go.
Baedlyn. Cool. Let's run in Baedlyn. Right.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe it's just... I don't know, but I feel somebody like Thrinham, if his livelihood is the digging up of gems, he would not get himself involved in a plot like this, and if Baedlyn really does detest him, that might be the reason why.
Maybe. Hopefully one of the two is an ally. It's more likely to be Thrinan by the looks of it, but who knows?
We just keep our wits about us and keep an eye on them all.
Gus, I also forgot to mention that I know it's the first time I'm meeting Baedlyn, but he seemed old, but something was just a little bit off of his demeanor.
Thrinan was the old one.
Thrinan. I'm getting confused with all these bloody dwarven names now.
Sorry, you're in a dwarven city.
Look, these names are all fresh to me. Come on, you can remember.
Florian, Trelador, I don't know.
He does look a lot older than he used to, but he could have been ill or something. We don't know.
He could have been ill. Who knows? Who knows what goes down in the mines of Boria?
Okay, so you make your way back to the Scalebane household, which is fairly impressive. It's not as impressive as the big guilds, but then this isn't a guild hall. This is a family residence. It's big, though. You get there. Sybil has untied Varand, but not ungagged him. As you walk in, she's right. Well, I had to untie him because he needed to go to the bathroom. So can't be cruel, can you? Well, you could, but that would be wrong. So I untied him, but he chattered on and on and on. So I gagged him again.
I think we tie him to a chair or something.
A fresh bruise on his forehead. And he tried to run, so I hit him a bit.
That's all right then.
Just a bit.
Understandable.
I damaged him. It's just just a little bruise. No more than you get, banging your head on something really hard, like some sort of club.
I should inform you, by the way, Mr. Scalebane.
No, listen. You could do the Scalebane thing when we're in a meeting. At the moment, I am Sybil. Okay.
Right. Well, to inform you, we're pretty sure that Baithlin is in on this as well. Based on the way he was speaking.
Miss Sybil, do you want me to patch him up for the meeting, or do you want me to
Don't
leave
worry,
him
he'll
as he
be
is?
fine. It's just a little tap. It's fine.
It's
Besides, if
probably
he
not-
runs again, I'll tap him on one of his knees, and that'll stop him running. She sort of glares at him, and he just sort of sits there, saying nothing.
She's Sprocket's kind of dwarf.
Absolutely.
Kneecaps and all.
Yep.
I mean,
Has terrifying implications for us having to call him Dad.
I mean, as the nana of a dragon, you could always have the dragon sort of bite his leg off.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. That's quite clever. Gus?
Yeah?
Have Beatrice on standby. Things may get
Aye.
ugly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that she'll enjoy a crunchy dwarf or two.
Yeah, well, I've told her she's not allowed to eat dwarves, but we can make exceptions.
Well, obviously, the bad ones.
Oh, aye. Yeah, that's what I said.
Right, that's good then. So.
Right, so they should be turning up any minute now.
And as you say, sorry, 1 second, just a message.
Franz will do his usual thing to try and be less threatening. He will find a position on the sort of the edge, but he will then sort of sit down, cross-legged with his staff across his lap.
Okay. It's alright. Hellhound is going for a little sleep again.
We hope.
Well, that's the plan anyway. It probably won't work, but there you go. Yeah, so they turn up. Weirdly at the same time. And Baden is after you, my dear Thrinnen. Age before beauty and all that. Thrinnen's like, right, well, we mirror. And he sort of looks at Sybil. Bows. I am asking permission to enter your household. Head of the Scale Beans. Sybil turns. You may enter. Head of the Lone Elves. Baidlin turns up. Well, acting head of the Scale Beans, I'd like to enter your domicile. As invited. Well then. So, the head of the Shorehammers would like to enter the head of the Scalebane's domicile, would they? But of course you may. Gus, seats.
Yeah.
Bring seats for our esteemed guests.
I'll drag a couple of chairs over.
Okay.
And when I've done that, I'll go and stand in front of the door.
Okay.
I'm assuming that Braidlin is not really very respectful towards Sybil, but Brenham is more so.
Oh, Thrinnen, as far as you can tell, this was all in Dwarvish, but the tone of his voice was very respectful. Obviously, the tone of Baidlin was not. It's fairly easy to tell that. You don't need to roll for anything. So,
can I set myself up in a corner just so I can see everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else having a particular position? I know we've got Sprocket in one corner. We've got Ferenz in another one with his staff.
Windows in the household?
There are no windows here. There are, in this particular room you're in, there are two doorways leading off. The doors are open and lead off into corridors. You can't tell where they go.
I will be nonchalantly stood next to Gus, then sort of like near the door, just like back on the wall.
Gus, I think, is at the front door.
I'm at the front door, yeah.
So you want to be
stop
there?
them leaving.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
keep
just kind of
the
like
side.
I'd have been there just to
Lorenz would be sat on the floor with his back against the wall, sort of behind and to the left of Sybil.
Okay. Yep. Noted.
But he would have placed the staff directly on the floor, and the large crystal that forms the head of it, he would be sort of slowly sort of manipulating it in his hands. And anybody paying close attention could see like little licks of white fire just eventually, every now and again.
Okay. Interesting.
I would like to position myself in a place where I can see all 4 of the dwarves nice and easily.
Easily done. There are various other chairs and sofas sort of parked. This is more of a sort of receiving room than a family room. It's more formal than that, so there are seating against the walls.
I'm going to be positioned.
Who's going first?
I'll position myself so that I'm as though I am taking part in the conversation.
Oh,
but
you're getting,
as I've said in my message,
more messages.
Paying close attention to Badelin at the moment.
Ooh, okay, interesting. You're using your ability to do that, are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
effectively.
Okay.
I don't have any true. Well, kind of. I suppose that would be.
Well, tell me what you're using to identify whether he's fiendish.
That's a very good question.
I mean, you
Try
can
to
make a
pick
straight
one that...
insight check if you want.
Hmm.
I mean, you're fairly good at identifying fiends.
Yeah. I'd be leaning more towards something that Hunter's Bane would benefit me in.
Okay.
Where I have advantage on the check to track and identify them.
Well, tracking or identifying, yeah. Do it.
Be either survival, which isn't great, or arcana.
You can give me survival, arcana, or insight. Up to you.
I will do arcana then.
Come on, big money.
Big money, no whammies. Oh, that's pretty good. 24.
24.
Pretty good.
Whilst
+7.
Whilst he's not
at advantage
a fiend himself, he has the touch of one. A familiar essence, as it were, of diabolical devilry about him.
It smells like one.
Yeah.
Similar to what I'm lumbered with.
Well, you're on 24.
Different flavour.
I'd say, yeah, you can almost taste the will of Fiona here.
Oh shit.
After Florian's comment about Thrinham looking not the best, can I sort of giving him a cursory look to see if I can figure out if there's something in particular wrong with him, or?
You can make a medicine check if you like. So whilst that's happening, Miette, where are you positioning yourself, if anywhere special?
Only with permission of Lady of the House, if she's given it. If there's any kind of high perchy areas.
Sure, you can go wherever you wish in this house. You are a guest of the Scalemates.
So yeah, wherever looks kind of just slightly
elevated.
Off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like you don't notice her, and next thing a paw comes down and dangles, and you remember, oh yeah, there's someone up there.
There are actually the lintels of the doorways are a bit like sort of classical architecture, where there is a sort of flat, wide lintel that pokes out of the door frame.
Okay.
So you can
yep,
get up
that
on
sounds
one of
perfect.
those. Just give me an acrobatics or athletics check, your choice. Don't mind which one. Probably more acrobatics, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean a +8 versus a +0. Other 13
And
though.
yet still, wow. It's not difficult to get up there. You just sort of like, whoop, and you're up. Are you choosing, which doorway are you choosing? The front doorway or one of the two others? Because they're all similar.
Well, one of the two others. I mean,
Okay.
the front doorway already has 2 people that are
Yeah.
like just would totally cramp my style.
That's fair. You leap up there and sit and observe. So, what was your medicine?
Only got 14.
14. It's really difficult to tell without actually physically examining him. You wouldn't be able to tell. So, who have we not heard from? Yorick.
Yeah, I'm basically just going to be stood as if I was stood next to Sybil and then just strafed 2 paces to one side.
Perfect.
Hammerhead on the floor, holding the
Nice.
handle, just as
Nice and intimidating. Lovely.
Yeah.
I like it. So, anybody? Did we hear from Sprocket? I do apologise.
Yeah, I'm trying to blend in as much as possible. I'm just at the corner, just surveying everything. I don't want to be included because I got no answers. Because
okay.
I'm
so
stranger.
What I would like from you guys, because some of you are clearly trying to intimidate, I want a group intimidation check, please. I want everybody to roll intimidation, and I will go around the room and get your numbers.
I'm not trying to be intimidating.
Okay, then you don't get to roll.
Can I do intimidation based off of strength rather than charisma?
Yes, you may.
Or something.
Oh, can I do that as well?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make much difference.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that Florian was
If you're not trying to
there
be
to be
intimidating,
intimidating. Yeah.
don't roll.
Yeah.
Well, I was, but I failed.
Okay. So, we know Celeste wasn't. Ferenz, were you trying to be intimidating with a little white fire?
He's not trying to be intimidating, but
I think
sort
I'd
of
like a roll from you anyway, because you are sitting on the ground with a staff that's unidentified by these dwarves with white fire on it. So that's fairly intimidating, I would say.
Well, to be fair, he's removed the crystal that forms the top of it, and he's sort of like just rotate it in his hands.
Exactly.
And
That's
just
a fairly
little sparks.
intimidating thing to walk into.
Okay, fair enough. It's to be fair, that's very second nature to him. He doesn't find that he'd seen.
But in this context,
that's not too bad.
A high stakes negotiation.
14.
14. Nice. Okay, so Florian wasn't. Gus.
7.
7. Oh dear. Melissa?
18.
Ooh, nice. Miet?
10.
10. Sprocket, sorry.
A very intimidating 13.
13. And
is that
Yorick?
14.
14.
Yeah. Okay. Is that based on Sprocket's strength or charisma?
Charisma, yeah, it was strength. It was +4 rather than +3.
Okay. To be honest, that's yeah.
We're not very intimidating today.
To be honest, you kind of are, because the overall vibe, it wasn't a high DC. There are a lot of you in here that are not allied with either of those 2 dwarves. You're all allied with Sybil. So, it's a very threatening place to come into, and both Thrinan and Maidlin look a little rattled at this presence of you all, especially Yorick standing hammer down in a pose that
I presume that
slightly reminiscent of a statues of Ryork's.
it might be a bit shaken by the sight of the priest as well.
The priest with a gag in his mouth.
Big bruise on his head. Yeah.
So, both of them look towards Sybil. So, it has come to my attention in the House of Scalebane that diabolical happenings are occurring down underneath the very city itself. it is alleged that you are abusing dragon eggs, to create gems, which you are then passing off to the tabaxi to sell to generate wealth. It is also come to my attention that Varen, dear, is the ringleader of this. Another point is, why is there no Scalebane on the council? So, gentlemen, and at this she just rips the gag out of Varen's mouth. Seems we have a few accusations and points of order.
I want to notice in particular what kind of reaction Threnham has to these statements and accusations.
Threnham looks... Okay, insight check.
Crying out loud. Ugh, 11.
11. Difficult to read. He's a dwarf. They're fairly stoic. Threnham answers first. Well, you see, it's a very serious accusation, isn't it? He looks immediately to Varen. What does the church have to say? Varen's. Well, he sort of looks up. I really can't deny it. They caught us at it.
Quick question.
Of course.
Is this taking place in Common or Dwarven?
This is in... It's difficult. I'll say it's in Common, because just for ease of role-playing, the translation, blah, 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 blah. It's in Dwarvish, but it's being translated by someone for you. So Yorick or Gus is translating.
Riox is doing it.
Yeah, Riox is putting it into your minds. No. Because it's the language of the High Council, it should be Dwarvish from a sort of political point of view, but yeah, you can all understand it, it's fine.
Bren's understands rudimentary Dwarvish, so he'd be following along as much as he could, but he would miss out little bits.
Yeah. Okay. So, Varend doesn't deny this. Tells the others he was caught red-handed. The reaction of Threnham is, well, this is upsetting. Did you know about this? He looks at Baitlin. Well, I mean, I don't think this is all very disturbing news. I don't think we could...
Is it, though?
I would suggest that you speak the truth here, Baitlin.
I know for a fact that your establishment carries these.
Yes, but I know for a fact that you're a thief, so we don't talk to thieves. Okay? So, shh. So, the truth of the matter is, I am supplied gems from both Threnham and Varen. I don't ask where they come from, nor do I care, really. My job is to sell them.
As you've quite rightly said, we don't talk to thieves, and you steal these gems from the dragons, so perhaps you should...
I do not steal anything from anyone, young person. I merely am given the gems by, as I've just said, if you were paying attention. Looks at Yorick. Your friend seems a little slow. I am given the gems by Varend and by Threnham and their guilds. I then am tasked with sending them out into the world for profit, so that we, as a dwarven society, can be independent and survive in this harsh
We're not independent, though, are we? We're slaves.
Slaves of whom?
Stuck here in our little mountain being told from when we're yay that nobody lives outside the mountains. It's just us inside here, but that's not true, is it?
I mean...
None of that's true.
We know of the tabaxi. They are,
All of it is orchestrated so people like you can make a shit ton of money. Isn't that right?
I mean, that seems a little harsh. I'm just merely doing
Unless,
my
of
job.
course, you would happen to be working for someone higher up than you.
He looks at you. He's got you make a intimidation or deception check, whatever you're trying to do here. Are you trying to trick him into revealing it? Are you trying to intimidate him into revealing it? Or are you just trying to rattle him? What's going on?
I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm trying to intimidate him into revealing it.
Intimidation roll. I'll say you can make it with advantage because you know the truth.
I can smell it on him.
You can smell it.
I can smell her perfume on you. No, that one's gone. I'll have another one. Right, so that is
Is your Prince
16.
of Hell cheating on you?
I mean, technically, my Prince of Hell posed as her twin sister to trick me and then complicated.
Yeah.
16.
16. You are an interesting one, aren't you? Interesting. No, I really do my best for the Dwarf Society to keep everybody tip-top, you know.
Really? Because I can smell the stink of the hells on you.
I mean, that's incredibly rude. I am obviously a devout worshipper of Riox.
I'm just going to
I
flash
think
a look.
I've probably spoken to Reorcs more than you have.
I'm going to flash a look to Yorick, suggesting that I think this guy's dangerous.
Yorick, maybe we should ask Reorcs about that.
We can check, you know.
I mean, don't be daft. Riox doesn't actually answer if you talk to him.
He
See
does to
child.
us. Aaron, what happened earlier when you questioned that?
Well,
Did
well, Farad looks broken, by the way. He's not. He's a shell of himself. Well, he was. They did something. I'm not saying it was true, or it was really Reorcs, but if it wasn't real, it was very convincing. And I'm at the moment, I don't know what to think.
Whilst all of this is going on, I take it the front door is shut.
The front.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gus is stood in front of it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just kind of lean down to Gus and just quietly go, I just want to check outside. And I just want to creak the door open a little bit and just see if there are any... Seems like followers from the council members in.
Okay.
Surrounding the house.
You crack the door open, look outside. There are about 60, 70 dwarves. Just sort of standing, looking, waiting.
Can't tell who's who though. Some interested, some...
Everybody's interested.
Yeah, well,
they are
yeah.
all waiting for... I mean, you can see dwarves with the symbol of the Miners Guild and the symbol of the Gemcars Guild, but you can also see Drake Hunter symbols.
Yeah.
You know, this is the general populace at large. There are also a couple of members of the priesthood.
Okay. I'll shut the
But
door.
nobody looks particularly, I'm going to kill whoever steps out the door next.
Yeah.
If that was what you were asking.
Yeah, not necessarily that, but I knew there probably might be a small following like there was around the city. I just wanted to see if there were like people stood out there with the pickaxes and torches.
No, no, the mob has not storming the castle.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Cool. Okay.
So
thank you.
Back to the room.
Well, gentlemen, and I'm going to sort of step forward and like just bang the hammer on the floor a bit to make sure everyone's focused on me.
Everybody does indeed focus on you.
I can guarantee you that I have been speaking to Reox fairly regularly over the last few months, and he is extremely disappointed with every one of you.
Thrinden looks. Well, I Yorick Scalebane, please accept my humble apology. I was under the impression from what I've been told recently, and I am feeling a little better. I've been under the weather, you know. Going out with drinking with Varen will do that. But I used to believe, and why did I stop? You can see he looks genuinely mystified.
Yeah, Celeste, could you, Thrinnen, would you mind just having a personal word with my friend Celeste here?
I mean, just for one moment, please, Mr. Scalebane. This is supposed to be a meeting of council members for a start. You really shouldn't really be here, and I think involving...
Bang the hammer again.
Well, there's no need for violence. I think you will find that...
I would say that is the least violent I could be under the circumstances.
At this point, I think I'll unshoulder my crossbow and just have it sort of pointing at the ground, but ready for action.
As you
And let's face it,
unshoulder and cock the crossbow, it's a fairly large crossbow, and it makes a hell of a noise. Yeah. You see both of them turn to look at you. And Bailey just, very well, do what you will. It's this most...
I will take a step back and look back at Sybil and kind of like, sorry, this is your meeting. Sybil, please continue.
Yorick, have I ever told you you're my favourite nephew? You carry on, my love. I am the acting head of the Scalebane clan. If I can choose someone to speak for me out of my clan, then I will do so. And I choose you. Carry on.
Thank you. So, looks down at Varad. We already know you're guilty.
Yeah, well.
And I think Celeste might find that Thrinnen has been under the influence of something outside of his control.
Thrinnen looks up at this. Do you? I'm not sure that is... What do you mean?
I'll gesture to Celeste to do your thing.
May I?
Yes, of course.
And I'll sort of checking him to me, so I'm not getting anywhere near that Badlin guy because I don't like him.
Yeah, he stands up and walks across to you.
And I will sort of properly look him over.
Okay, give me a medicine check.
His eyes and stuff. Come on, higher than a single digit.
That would be good.
17.
17.
Not great, but...
As you're looking him over, you can see his pupils aren't quite right. I mean, you've been around the three dwarves in your party for a while now. You know what healthy dwarves look like. His pupils are sort of just slightly strangely elongated. You suspect some kind of drug or some kind of substance has been used to just sort of cloud his brain, confuse him somewhat. It reminds you of powders and tinctures that remember the one you went to for help?
Yes.
The witch. Something familiar here. Something of those powders and tinctures she used to make. but used for not the right purpose. This has been deliberately done to him. This is not somebody who's very ill receiving... Because he's not. He's perfectly healthy. He just looks ill. Looks old. Somebody has been drugging him with one of these powders or tinctures. You're not sure which one or what it is. But you can see that he obviously hasn't taken it for a few days. So the effects seem to be wearing off, which is why he's feeling very upset and a little bit confused, but still recognising what's going on.
Do I think a lesser restoration would cleanse it, or would it require something a bit more?
I think with a 17, you think it would take a lot more than that. But you suspect that this particular type of drug would wear off if the user stopped, or the person it was being administered to, it was stopped.
I will look at Yorick and at Sybil and sort of say in both their general direction. There is definitely something foreign in his system that should not be there. It seems from my examination that it is slowly working its way out of his body. He's not been... it's not been in his system for the past couple of days, I think. I could cleanse it possibly now, but that will require some pretty intense magic and some diamond dust, which I do not have.
Well, I mean, we have plenty of diamonds.
Lie it down, you. He's kind of right, though. We can get that sort of thing you need.
I think it's approximately 100 golds worth of diamond dust, and I can attempt to
got that in my bag if you need it.
a greater restoration to cleanse him immediately.
I pull that out with it in my pocket.
Otherwise, it may take a while longer. I'm not entirely sure how long.
Okay.
What if we, Celeste, sorry, what if we maybe tripled the efforts? I can help cure some stuff, if you can.
I could tomorrow, but I'd need to rest before I can do that.
I could help, but I mean, I don't have it prepared today, but I mean...
I have it prepared, and I have the capability to do it once. Today.
Or if you want to.
Oh, we need some diamond dust. We can get that easy enough.
Rummage through my bag and pull out a diamond.
Yep, easily done.
Plenty of them.
Easily done.
Just grate their armour.
You can get your
get my chainmail and just
just create the requisite components.
I mean, I've absolutely got the spells that can do that, but
no, it's the work of a few moments to create the diamond dust. You can cast Greater Restoration on Thriddon if you wish.
I will cast Greater Restoration.
Okay, mark the spell off. As you do so, you almost see the weight lifted off and the years lifted off him as he returns to full faculty. And he just sort of shakes his head. Yorick? What? As I was saying, full apology. I seem to have been interfered with. He looks directly at Varund. What did you do? You did something to me, didn't you? Varund's like, well, you were being difficult. So, hang on, too many different, slightly different accents, and it's really complicating my brain.
So tricky,
sorry. Say something, please,
fine.
Yorick.
Take some Scottish dwarves if it makes it easier for you.
No, say something, please, Yorick, in dwarf.
Oh well,
right, got it. Thank you. Right, and I just, well, you see, what you were being difficult. So after tourists, we we had to get a majority, so with 3, we needed 2. So when you started objecting and wanted a scalebane on the council, we started slipping you some potions that we got from trading. So, you know, you'd be more easily swayed. Threadon, at this point, just walks up to him and just punches him really hard.
Good.
Falls on backwards off the chair. And Sybil goes, "Oh! Now. It's time for violence in a bit. He's already a bit bruised, because, you know, escaping and all that shit. Sit yourself down, Threadon. You've had a nasty shot." And she helps Varund back up onto the chair.
Through this, does Badelin seem unnervingly confident?
Make an insight check.
Probably not with this one. This guy's pretty tough. 15.
Rolled really low. He's appearing confident, but you can see he's starting to get a little bit rattled and a little bit annoyed with the Varun's capitulation and the
I'm
curiosity.
going to position myself. I'm going to position myself kind of closer, just to keep an eye on him, keeping a hand on one of my scimitars.
Okay.
I find it very interesting that you didn't want me anywhere near Thrinham.
I'm sorry, what? Are you talking to me again? I do apologise. I wasn't really listening to what you were saying.
Yeah, without sort of breaking eye contact with Baelin, Brenz will fit the large crystal back to the head of the staff and then just slowly stand. Bear in mind he's nearly 8 feet tall.
That's very interesting stuff you have there. Nice crystal work on the top. Could get you a pretty decent price for that, you know.
This is something that I don't think you could afford it, mate.
Oh, I think you underestimate just how much money I have.
Let me rephrase.
I mean, if you mean it's not for sale, then it's not for sale. That's all you need to say. You don't need to be clever about it. You've already proved you're not. I'm sorry. That's...
Mr. Yorick, can we let the dragons at least eat him, please?
I mean, I'm in the Staghold, my friend. I don't think we'll see any dragons here.
If we don't intervene, I mean, it's probably going to happen anyway. But I mean, can we please at least let them eat him?
Look, in order, clearly there needs to be some sort of transition of power here, because Varund and Baelin here are clearly unfit to be in the ruling class of this great city. We need to install, whether it is Sybil here or another Scalebane, but we need to install a Scalebane back into the council so it is for houses again. I don't think we can just let a dragon eat him. I think there needs to be some proper process in place for us to be able to get through this.
I guess then we leave Miss Sybil and Mr. Thrinnan here in charge while we do the rest of what we've got to do then.
Sybil, what do you think?
Well, as acting head on Scalebane Clan, I would be honoured to be appointed to the council on a temporary basis. Just, you know, until some of the older ones get back from their safe routes out. If that would be okay with you, Thrinnan? Is that acceptable? Sure, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Varund, you are technically still on the council. Farah goes, sure. I'll announce it if you like. I mean, well, technically, I'm still on the council, and I object. And you need a majority to appoint
They
anyone.
have a majority.
It's one.
2 to 1,
No, it
yes.
seems that
So you
you're a
may
little bit
appoint.
slow.
You may appoint a scale bane on a temporary measure, but if you read the rules, the temporary member does not count in any banishing of existing members. So, unfortunately, and you have to have a 3 to 1 to banish a member of the council.
Oh, convenient that you left off a scale being from being reappointed after Turnus died.
I mean, that was all Varen's idea. We just went along because, you know, the priest is in charge, really. Hands up, who believes him? Ah, okay.
Well, Mr. Yorick, the way I see it is your family has a right to a seat on the council anyway, so whether or not Miss Sibylier's occupying it temporarily, would that seat not be a permanent seat for your family? So her vote, even though she's only temporarily the scale being representative, with it being a permanent seat, her vote would be counted. I would say.
I don't know. Maybe Thrinan or Sybil, if you know the actual rules of the council, I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, Sybil pipes up. Baitlin is correct. If I was appointed on a interim basis until the appropriate scale bane clan member takes the seat permanently, any banishment of any other member has to have 3 votes, and unfortunately a temporary or interim member cannot vote in that process.
Okay. What if one of the council members died?
Accidentally, of course.
Well,
accidentally got eaten by a dragon.
Oh, well, in that case, obviously there have to be a replacement from that family.
And
would you like me to introduce your granddaughter to them then?
I think that would be splendid.
Bridget!
Hi, Mum. Oh,
Hey.
Nana. You can see Threnan, Varand, and Baitlin all sort of immediately take.
Yeah. Burns would turn and excitedly go, "Hello, Bridris," in Draconic.
Who friends?
Some friends, some not friends.
No, Firenz. That's his name, you know.
Oh,
Mum, pay
friends.
attention.
Sorry.
Have you been eating all of your
Snacks? Oh,
well,
yeah. Oh,
yes.
lovely snack before I came. Yeah. Still a bit peckish, though.
Well, it's not for me to say, but wait for your mum's call.
So, ma'am, you want Bridris to eat him then?
Well, I think that's a bit extreme, don't you? But
I'll get rid of the problem.
it would. But it's not really.
And if a dragon eats him, it might eat, well, on your command, it might not go with the purpose that we're trying to stop the
Well,
war.
you see, at the moment, right, we have a city that is on edge. If one of the council members comes to a Scalebane house and then doesn't come out again, and we tell everybody he was eaten by a dragon, that's not going to look good. So
True.
we have to kind of publicly denounce both Varind and Baitlin.
All right.
Just having them eaten by a dragon, whilst highly amusing, would not help us with the city and the dwarven kind. Oh dear. Your big friends.
I think he's had an idea.
Friends will bend right down low to Yorick. And go, do you think if I asked Dell to bring up one of those monster corpses in her dwarven form, that would help? Or if maybe a couple of us go and fetch one, while the rest...
Maybe. I think we need to announce something to the town, a proper town meeting, not just a meeting of the council. I think we need to let the people decide what they do, and maybe if we've got some evidence with us of what's been going on in the city, then that would be a good thing.
I don't think that...
Are there any more members of these families that could take their place on the council legitimately?
Legitimately. They're probably not here, as all the elders have been moved to safety with the young ones. So you're looking at sort of people my age, young but not too young, not like these whippersnappers, Gus and Yorick.
Because of the allegations, would these two hanging over them, could they be forced to step aside and maybe...
Well, as we were saying, it would have to be a vote by the council, 3-1, to get somebody removed.
I'm not talking about removing them, I'm talking about them temporarily stepping aside until the allegations have been either proven or disproven.
Well, I mean,
because
I'd have to look at the precedents. So we'd have to look at the law books to see if it's happened, which could take a while.
He's already admitted his guilt.
Yeah, that's
I think we take the 3 remaining council members out into the town square. We tell the people who want to listen exactly what's happened, and I ask Reorx to do what he wants to do with them. And I suspect he might just smite 2 of these down and leave one of them standing.
And on that note, is where we'll end. Because it's getting a little late, but yeah, that was fantastic. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. That started off sort of gentle and slow paced. It got a little bit ramped up at there at the end, didn't it? So
yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you so much for diving straight back into these characters. I know it's been a long time, but you all did magnificently. Very happy.
Riding a dwarven bike.
Got your beard on.
They'd be quite uncomfortable. The wheels would be made of stone, and the seat would be made of stone.
It will just be a bit too small for me.
I dive straight back into the sense of being an absolute square, as Sprocket would say, and I honestly contemplated on insight checking Sybil to see if she was part of it.
Wow.
Like how Florian is just kind of like, can we trust her to be left alone with? I was like,
You insight check my mum and I'll bosh you.
After playing quarantine for a year, it's weird going back to being the sensible one in the party.
It's certainly weird not DMing on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday today.
Indeed.
Yeah. I heard Biddy at one point say, question for the DM, and just got on edge about it.
Yeah.
yeah, like,
oh no, I'm not the DM.
I get excited.
Yeah. I love Fiddy questions, they're great. So,
questions the best.
As I said, thank you all very much for jumping back into these characters. I know we're all a little bit rusty, but I think that went really brilliantly, to be honest. We will do a Conspiracy Beards, if you want to do a quick Conspiracy Beards around the room. We'll start with Firenz. Any questions, any conspiracy theories, anything to add to that, really?
No conspiracy theories or conspiracy beard at the moment. He's super pumped that he got to speak and talk to a dragon.
Indeed,
that's fair. He's fully fanboying right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
fair. And he's kind of, can we go and fetch one of the bodies? He's more a case of, can I go and see the dragon again, please, please.
No, I got that. I really did. So, Melissa, what you got for me?
So,
Baelin is absolutely carrying tale to Fiona, but I have a feeling that Varind isn't. I think Baelin is the mastermind here, and he is the one behind it. He convinced Varind in, and was likely the one arranging what was happening to Threnin. So, yeah, there's a very good reason why Melissa is paying very close attention to that man, because I have a feeling he is either going to A, try and burn us all to the ground, or B, teleport and run away.
I'm
Okay.
just going to add something there that I rolled a D100 3 times during that conversation. When following the point where Melissa said that she sort of could smell the hells on him, because Ferenz was basically going to banish him.
I don't think it could work. I think he's in the same kind of hellish connection as Melissa is.
I don't know that.
But that's fair.
So somebody says hells, I say banishment.
That's fair. That's a good reaction, to be honest.
They say hell, you say banish. They say hell, you say
You say
banish.
yeah.
Hell,
Okay.
banish, hell, banish.
So yeah, Melissa, anything else to add to that one, or is that your theory so far?
Yeah, I think the grander theory is Vienna is trying to distract any possible power that could stop her plans. Therefore, dwarves and dragons in a war. You convince the Dwarven Council to mistreat the dragon eggs so badly that the dragons become so focused on the dwarves that they don't notice the devils coming out of the woodwork.
Interesting. Cool. Celeste, what you got for me?
I think Celeste has picked up what Melissa's put down about the connection to the hells. Because if anybody would pick that up, it would probably be her. I think she still believes that Threnim is innocent in all of this and has just been taken advantage of. But Baedlin, she really does not like. Kind of reminds her a little bit of brain words, people's names. It's been a while.
Your mate?
It's been a while.
Yeah, my mate, Law.
Yeah.
That horrible, creepy. Bleh.
Fair enough. Florian, what you got for me?
Yeah, so the only, apart from that, the completing our existential dread is back. I think Florian would have definitely picked up on what Melissa was saying, having that conversation with whichever one is the bad one.
Baedlin.
Is it Baedlin? Baedlin.
Yeah. I tried to make their names different so that they didn't get confused, but
and
you overestimate the players.
I did slightly.
And is now weary to be around them if he has got the touch of Fiona on him. He is potentially more powerful than what we realise. And with Florian being so close to somebody who could be that in league with Fiona, could not turn out too well.
Indeed.
But we will see.
We will see. Yes, we will. Miette, Madame Miette.
Madame Miette. Lots of things. Booked that kit for copping on that he couldn't give me a nice package of rubies as samples. That would have been nice. Every now and again I remember how fucking loaded dwarves are. I was like, why the fuck aren't they paying for everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly like mostly I started the game going kind of like, yay, Chaos Cast, everything's happy and fun. And then Florian did drink in the pub. I was like, oh yeah, we're actively more danger than the Sunday campaign. People are in danger of being chased by a fire elemental, and everything's bad, and the world's about to end, and like gods are actively being pulled back into the surface by us. and numerous temples being pulled back to the surface by us, and it's kind of like, right, so now we're in a room with the servant of the gods actively trying to capture us if she realizes who we are in this room with her servant. And we've already pissed her off by trapping Celeste's ex-fiance and sending him away with the Chaos God. And it's like, yeah, everything's fine.
I think it's of note that the pirate campaign is the least gritty and dark of the various campaigns we have.
Considering the amount of sea battles we had in that for the end campaign, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, indeed. Sprocket,
don't worry, Omia. Don't worry. Once we've sorted the council problem out, we'll go back to the pub. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. It's all good. Sprocket, what you got?
No, nothing really. Trellador is deeply uncomfortable in the city because he doesn't know how to act. That's why he's not saying a lot, because he doesn't feel comfortable wherever he is, but he feels even less comfortable here.
Okay.
So he's kind of just doing that, sort of sticking with Gus and Yorick to try and blend in, and hoping that they'll explain him away. You know, if he
Yeah,
gets
I mean, you certainly
sort of...
weren't getting any of the weird looks that everybody else was.
No. But I'm hoping that no one asks me a question, because I have no reference points. Because obviously Gus and Yorick have been talking about dwarf stuff, but I haven't been listening up until I needed to at this point. And now I'm kind of regretting it.
That's fair. Maybe
you could always ask Yorick to look at his notes.
Good.
He has written that down.
I'm really aware that that's going to be a really awkward and weird situation for a person to be in, like looking like you belong, but not actually. But Yorick's kind of so busy and so uninterested, and you're fine. You look like a dwarf. You're in Daghold. What's the problem? That I'm just like.
I feel like I'm like in cosplay, and I'm just sort of waiting to be exposed.
You're the equivalent of up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Leave the other two dwarves for last. Which one of you wants to go first?
Go on, Yorick. You're the clever one. I'm the brains.
Yorick being the clever one was said twice tonight, and said that Gus was the clever one twice tonight.
Yeah. Nobody's
just
really
depending
sure.
on. No one's really sure. I'm not even sure what Gus's intelligence is, but I'd be surprised if it's lower than mine.
I don't think it is.
Well,
I think Gus is the clever one, and you're the wise one.
Yeah, that's
you're
right.
a brainiac, Gus. Mine's 7.
This is because the chaos. You know, Gus's wisdom is way low.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, you're passing as a regular.
Person.
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Not even
Three
close.
dwarves and trench coat.
I think Celeste has the highest intelligence.
Anyway, getting back to the question.
Yorick.
So,
Yorick, what have you got?
yeah, I sort of got. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with Badelin, and I'm hoping we can all just go out into the town square. I can make a speech, or Sybil can make a speech to the people saying what's happened, and that we're going to put these 3 on trial in the eyes of Reorx, and Reorx is going to smite the 2 of them down. I don't think it's going to quite be that simple. I think Badelin at least is going to vanish first or something, as Jade said, because there's more there than just being a dick.
I mean,
He's
very
being a
rich.
dick with purpose.
He's not just an uber capitalist. He's he's made a literal deal with a literal devil. So,
Which is different in some way that's hard to define.
Yeah. It's like capitalism extra, capitalism plus.
Yeah. With capitalism squared.
it's like capitalism prime.
Yes, nice. Like
I
it.
see what I did there.
Like that.
That hurt.
Oh, that was good.
I liked Thrinan doing a full Theoden of Rohan, just
Yeah.
just coming back. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I've got any particular conspiracies. I think there's more to unfold than just put this in the hands of Reorcs. But yeah, looking forward to seeing it.
Indeed, it would certainly be interesting. Come on in, Gus. You're last. What you got?
Right, well, I'm really happy I've got my mum back, and I'm really happy that she's accepted Bridris as a grandbaby, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit conflicted because like I had a crush on Dell, if you remember, at the end of the right? And then she turned into a dragon, and I love dragons. And so I'm a bit conflicted because, like, she's a big dragon, but she's also this lovely dwarf lady that I've got a crush on. So I don't quite know what to do with that.
Gus is going full donkey from Shrek.
Yeah.
Well, he is a bit
I
of a
mean,
donkey.
if that's something that Gus wants to explore, then
Have you heard a conspiracy theory about that?
Be nice to have a proper mum for Bridris, wouldn't it? A real dragon.
Indeed. So go ahead, Mr.
What's
Ian.
this conspiracy?
Yeah, do you remember the opening for Shrek, in which he's going through the fairy tale book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about that book, which I didn't even pick up on the time that I read this, is the princess in the book is a blonde, and Fiona the redhead. So the theory is that there was two princesses in that tower that were transformed by either day or night. Fiona being one, and the dragon being the blonde princess.
Yeah,
that really is a conspiracy beard.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So like it's never confirmed on screen, but like the clues are there. So you could be very happy with your half dragon, half dwarf wife.
Absolutely.
Your half dragon, half dwarf babies.
That's how sorcerers are made.
Yep.
completely a little bit off topic, but I heard a really cool factoid. So sea turtles dine on certain types of jellyfish, but the chemicals the jellyfish excrete when they're eaten by the sea turtles essentially get them high. So the way that Crush and the other turtles talk in Finding Nemo is probably actually quite factually accurate because they're high most of the time.
Nice.
Now, unfortunately, because of certain small devil dog, we can ask her if she has any questions, but she wasn't listening, so she won't know what to question about. So I feel I should ask anyway. Terry, do you have any questions? No, apparently not. So
Does Lily have any questions, or is she sleeping?
she's asleep.
How cute is Lily? Rate Lily on cuteness, 1 to 10. 11 being the obvious answer.
Cuteness meter is broken, overloaded.
I probably try to type up my notes, and every time I go to type Yorick, I type Yorkie.
Yorick
I
would
mean-
definitely be bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially the rum and raisin ones.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much for playing and joining me back in the world of Helloran, and literally just jumping straight back in as if we'd only had a couple of weeks break. It was just astonishingly well done. I'm so
I can't believe you said 13 months.
It is. It's crazy. But anyway, we will be back here on Sunday for. There's something happening on the Sunday camera. I can't remember what it was. Was it some sort of tea party with a nice person and some? No, it's a fight.
Yeah.
The gods just
Nice tea party with the Dark Elves. It's fine.
Yeah, and there's
A god has just.
a god has got involved. This is not good at all. It's going to be scary. The investigators, check them out on Sunday, 7:30. We'll of course be back here in the world of Helloran with the trial by God, if that's been set up for next time.
Trial by Forge Fire.
Yeah,
Trial by Reorcs.
Trial by Hammer.
As I put in my notes.
So, all that remains is to thank everybody for playing. Thank everybody for watching. If you liked it, you're amazing. Just come again, because you're always welcome. If you didn't like it, you can fuck off, basically. And we'll see you soon.